We are not there. We are traders, we are not politicians. We do not make any of these laws. We did not issue the smart card and permits by ourselves. Rather, the city issued them to us. Now, what we understand is that whenever there is change of mayor in the city of Johannesburg, a new mayor came with his MMCs like economic development and councillors. And now, when they come, we are not sure if they do study the bylaws of the city, whereby there are informal traders in this.
South Africans, when are we going to start fighting for our country? When are we going to start joining the movements like Dudula, Action SA, March and March, joining Zandile, joining Victoria Africa, fighting for our country? When are we going to stop posting useless videos on social media instead of us standing up and supporting these movements? These foreigners, they are here to stay. I'm going to share some clips whereby these foreigners claiming to be South Africans. These foreigners claiming to have rights in South Africa. They are saying Africa is for all foreigners. South Africa it's Africa.
You know, Zimbabweans, they so much want to be South Africans. I've never seen people with no pride. Both of them are Nigerians, and they're going to be taking surnames of South African ladies. I've never seen people with no pride. They want to be South Africans by hook or crook because they've messed up their own countries. You know,
but they are fighting our government here in South Africa. South Africans, can we please support these movements? Can we please start support? I'm going to share some clips whereby you'll see these foreigners fighting with their eyes red, full of anger.
Yes, I want to go. I'm waiting for UN. They must come. I'm sick and tired for this country. I'm suffering a lot.
Yes.
I want to go. I want to go.
What is government South Africa?
What is
Mandela's government?
They hate us. Can we please start supporting these movements? I saw that today in Joburg, the ruling, I heard someone say the ruling has favored us as South Africans. So can we please continue to support our government, our city of Joburg, whereby they enforce our laws? Like,
I feel that anger, that's the hatred. Because what happened yesterday is the 5th xenophobic attack in South Africa, because that was done by the government, because that is inhumanity that I saw with my eyes yesterday.
Our country, fighting for the future generations to come. Can we please unite and fight against this thing of foreign nationals? They are fighting our own government in South Africa.
See what they are doing with us. You can see the way they are treating us.
They are saying our laws are useless. They are not binding by our laws. They want to do as they please. Youth of South Africa, the future is in our hands.
We're here back at the Johannesburg High Court. We hope today the ruling of the court will be for the city of Johannesburg. But regardless of the ruling, it remains the fact that we need to make sure that our residents abide by the laws of the city. People who are hawkers in the city must abide by the bylaws, and we are going to make sure that we enforce those bylaws as a city of Johannesburg. And we call upon residents of our city to make sure that the bylaws are adhered to, and we assist them on how to comply as well. So we hope for the best today. We'll be updating the residents of Johannesburg as soon as the court is done. I want to thank everyone as well.
Formal traders in Johannesburg challenging the bylaw enforcement that saw them removed from certain streets within the central business district of Johannesburg. The matter was scheduled in the Johannesburg High Court on Friday, but was postponed to today after the two parties could not agree on a remedy. Ngobile Madlala is outside the High Court and joins us now. Ngobile, perhaps we can just talk about some of the remedies that were even being discussed last week, Friday, and what got us to this point. Good morning again.
Good morning, Arabile. So one of the major issues that has been discussed is the fact that the traders are trading, but they're trading outside of the areas that are designated by the city for them to operate. We understand there's about 520 something of them that are currently operating in De Villiers Road. And if you unpack and you look at De Villiers Road, you'll see that it's one of the areas that has quite a lot of traffic, especially because it's at a space where people walk towards the taxi rank called Wanderers Taxi Rank. Now that specific area is the area where the city has found that most of these traders have actually blocked the road in the sense that they are working there, but people are no longer able to work in some of those pavements. So they have said that they need to clean that area, mainly also because that area is not designated for actually for the hawkers to continue working there. But they're saying that they've got about 200 to 300 spaces of where some of these people can actually move to as vendors and work from. And whilst in the meanwhile, Seri is saying, but there's over 500 people that require that they continue working. And they're arguing that they have a right to actually earn. They have a right to have to continue with their businesses, mainly because the city's implementation of the rule, which was about 3 years ago, where they provided a space where people can work, they also provided that some of these hawkers can pay for rent. And as a result, over time, it seemed like there was an issue, and some of them ended up not being able to use these smart cards. And they're saying that that's an issue that the city should have actually worked on for quite some time. And so they're challenging the city's bylaw implementation or enforcement, saying that this could also be aligned with the G20 summit that is coming through. And the city is saying, no, but the bylaws needs to be implemented so that people are able to adhere to the law, so that there's no lawlessness, as what Dada Morero has been saying. So the remedy then was to say, the city was saying they want 21 days to be able to get to the crux of this and be able to register everybody else. However, Seri is saying that for 21 days, some of these hawkers live hand to mouth, and therefore that means that's 21 days of not having food or any income.
Thank you so much for giving us that. It's a
Hi guys, I think I want to tackle the question that you guys were asking yesterday. A lot of you made videos here on social media yesterday. Uguti, the EFF is standing with illegal foreigners in Joburg. We are trying to remove them. The informal traders up, the people that are selling paya. We are trying to clean Johannesburg. That's what you guys were saying. And the EFF is standing with them. Okay, so I'm here to answer that, because the problem with you guys are not informed in. One thing about social media that I don't like is that when there's something being said, they don't go research. If you tell the EFF is standing with foreigners, that's why they were there. They run with that. No one checks, what is it true, is it false? So I think I've said this a million times before. Every time there's anything that has to do with illegal foreigners and what, and I always tell you guys, Uguti, South Africa is governed by law, not by emotions. So you can turn red, but South Africa is not governed by emotion. So now let's quickly go back to what is the stance of the EFF, and especially there on the informal traders being removed. Why is the EFF supporting the informal traders? First of all, the EFF did not say they are supporting illegal foreigners. The EFF is standing with the people that were unlawfully removed from trading on the side of the road. They are South Africans, ezithengisayo pie. The court of law ruled that removing those people without permits or providing ways for them to apply for permits was illegal and unlawful. Not the EFF. Kuchu court. Uyabona kurukuchwa court kodwa nifuni EFF bana EFF kodwa kuchi court. The EFF is saying, if you are gonna remove the people follow the law, do it the right way. Yeah, but let the people have an opportunity to apply for permits. Yes, they are not all going to qualify for the permits, by the way. Some of them don't qualify. First rule of you being able to apply is you have to be a South African. So automatically, if you're not a South African, you don't qualify. So if the EFF is supporting, is standing with the people that are evicted, they're saying that let the people trade, give them permits, let them apply for permits, and you are saying the EFF is supporting illegal foreigners. How can the EFF support illegal foreigners when illegal foreigners don't qualify? Illegal foreigners don't qualify for the permits because they are not South Africans. That the permit you can only apply if you are South African. So when you say EFF is standing with foreigners, that's what they want them to make our city dirty. They want them, but we are trying to remove them. No, that's not what the EFF is saying. EFF is saying that the city must do its job. They have a responsibility, first of all, to make sure there's a process of people to apply for permits to be able to trade with Paya formally. But they have not been doing that. They've let them trade there informally for the longest time. Now, all of a sudden, because there is G20 coming, there's elections coming, now they want to tell people, no, today we've decided that you must go. That is not the law. That is not the South African law. And you can turn red and blame the EFF, but the EFF is not the one who wrote the law. The court ruled. The EFF is not the one. But you want to say, hey, just one of the video yesterday, and the more you say, the EFF, the more crazier you sound. The more crazy you sound. Almost say, hey, it's the EFF, Johnny. Oh, Herman Mashaba, they are losing it. They are losing it because one thing about Herman Mashaba, I don't take them serious anymore because I feel like they don't even read by it in the constitution. But we're gonna defend South Africa with our life. If we die, we die. Why are you dying? Why are you dying? Why Nisuso Mama? But there's a mother who's a Changa and Paya. She's been removed. I heard people in the comment section saying, "But still we deal with the illegal foreigner." Baza ukiandono mama babantu. Baza ukiandon balinde nina nibe emotional. Aini guys. So yeah, I have posted actually the full thing step by step on my YouTube channel. Please go and watch. But I just wanted to come here and say, it's crazy how much you guys wanna say EFF. Even when EFF ingangeni ndawo ukubona you saw abantu be EFF phana vele naqonda ba abantu be EFF they are siding with foreigners njani the EFF is siding with the law. Hey yo ayaze literally domboli EFF son, like what
Section to support the city of Johannesburg against the city which wants to protect illegal foreigners to sell in our streets. But as we are saying, we rather die for this. South African comes first. We are here to protect the interests of South Africans.
Oh my God,
movement, we will never win this battle. The battle belongs to all residents of Johannesburg, and we are ready to work with everyone who is willing to work with us as a city of Johannesburg. From here, because the judge has said to us, between the 3rd and the 18th of November, you must have finished the process of verification. Siyasuka lana masqeda siya civilians. Siyaqala umsebenzi wethu. Musika isolapini. Ariel Johannesburg rilukise Ariel. Ariel Johannesburg rilukise Ariel. We support our.
So breaking news, as you can see, I am at Dunuza in Joburg CBD. The Gauteng High Court has ruled that the city of Johannesburg needs to expedite the process of registering informal traders. You would remember that informal traders and the city of Johannesburg were in court after the city removed informal traders from operating right here in Dunuza. Now the court says over the next 2 weeks the city must register and formalize some of the informal traders and ensure that they are allocated spots to trade it. But if you are an illegal immigrant in South Africa, the law will not allow you to trade anymore in the city of Johannesburg and in the CBD particularly. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Is this a victory for the city or is this a victory for the informal traders?
Because here we can make it. That is why we are here. We are not fighting with anyone. We are not fighting. We are just trying to survive here. Thank you so much. Together strong. One Africa. Together of the world.
Brother man, we've got a Chad here, we've got many things here around. As of now, even our Chad never got to school because of our problems, the way things it has. Please God, it make poor things the way it is. Don't take it like apartheid things. You must take in the freedom ways. You get it? Because all Africans, we are survive on the street.
This is not a demarcated, it's not a street demarcated for informal trading. So there will not be stands allocated at De Villiers Street because the city demarcates markets. To my point earlier, you don't just pick a spot because you like it. The city demarcates markets, it demarcates stalls where informal trading may be conducted. There are also restrictions in terms of, traffic legislation. You can't conduct, a trading activity within 5 meters of an intersection. You can't conduct trading activity in a pavement that's not more than 3 meters wide. There's a host of other limitations that are prescribed in terms of the bylaws of the city. So those are always taken into account when the city decides where to proclaim markets, where to allow trading, where not to allow trading. Congestion. De Villiers had gotten to a point where there was no room for vehicular traffic to move because everyone had just decided to locate themselves there and set themselves as they wished. But unfortunately, there are no demarcated areas for trading in De Villiers Street, so it is not one of the areas where there will be allocations for trading.
Part A, paragraph 1, this application is sufficiently urgent to be dealt with on the urgent roll. Paragraph 2, the first respondent, the City of Johannesburg, is to conduct an expedited verification, registration, re-registration and allocation process, the process as contemplated by the informal trading bylaws promulgated in the Provincial Gazette dated 14 March 2012, Local Authority Notice 328, read with the applicable provisions of the Businesses Act 71 of 1991 as amended, together with the regulations thereto. For the sake of the legal representatives, the regulations that had been referred to in paragraph 4, which was deleted, has been inserted into this paragraph, and the informal trading policy dated 22 April 2022, Annexure AA3 to the respondents' answering affidavit, in respect of the first to fourth applicants and the applicants listed in Annexure AK2 to the applicant's founding affidavit. Paragraph 3, the process shall commence on the 4th of November 2025 and shall be completed by no later than the 18th of November 2025. 4. The parties in this matter are to refer their dispute to mediation in terms of the provisions of Rule 41, capital letter A, of the Uniform Rules of Court, read with the provisions of the revised mediation protocol applicable in the Gauteng division in brackets June 2025. Paragraph 5. The applicants are to file their amplified 41A notice in terms of the protocol referred to in paragraph 5 hereof, that is the protocol, by no later than the 6th of November 2025. Thereafter, the timelines and provisions as prescribed in the protocol, read where applicable with the provisions of Rule 41A, shall apply. Paragraph 6. The costs of the mediation are to be paid by the respondents. Paragraph 7. Insofar as may be necessary, the failure of the applicants to comply with the provisions of Rule 16, capital letter A, of the Uniform Rules of Court is condoned in terms of Sub-Rule 16, capital letter A, in brackets 9.
Welcome back to Gistline. So the Gauteng High Court has ordered the City of Johannesburg to speed up the verification, registration and stall allocation process for informal traders. And the court said the city must carry out this process between November 4th and 18th, ensuring that everything is transparent, fair and in line with city bylaws. Now, this decision, we all know that this decision came after the Socio-Economic Rights Institute, which is SERI, took the city to court, and it was accusing it of unfairly evicting traders and closing down their stalls without proper procedure. So the court made it clear that the city has no excuse to delay anymore, that it must show proof that it followed the law and also treated people fairly. If the city's process turns out to be biased or unjust, the matter can be brought back to court. The judgment also made I think the judge also made an important point that undocumented foreign traders cannot be allocated trading stands. And the order is basically forcing the city to stop the chaos and also do things properly. So for many traders, this ruling is a relief because they feel they've been suffering for months, and some of them were kicked off their trading spots. Others had their goods seized, and many were left without a way to feed their families. These are ordinary people that are trying to make a living, not criminals. So their frustration is real. Some of them pay rent. They also raise kids and survive off the small profits they make each day. As you can see in the former videos, you heard what they were saying. Now, some of them said that this whole chaos has destabilized them. The children cannot even go to school. So when you hear their cries and protests, you can't just dismiss them. These people just came out to speak, and they're not there to fight according to what they said, but they are there to demand fairness. And at the same time, you can't ignore how most South Africans feel, because let's be real, these people, some citizens are just tired and frustrated. Some of them are looking for jobs, security and order in their own country, and these people are not really interested in endless court cases or government excuses. That's just the truth. They simply want foreigners who are in the country illegally to go home, and that's what they are demanding. This is not out of hatred, according to them. It's just frustration because things are hard and people feel like the system has failed them. So the case they had yesterday, I think it went in favor of the city of Johannesburg, and those who are legally in the country and can provide valid documents they feel they should be allowed to trade. Then anyone that is not documented have to face the law, which is plain and simple. Now the city has no time to waste. By November 18, I think the verification process must be completed, and it must be done fairly. This means no secret lists, no favoritism, and no discrimination. Traders that are legally here in South Africa, whether South African or foreign, they deserve to work in peace. Those who are undocumented will need to regularize their status or step aside, and that's the law. South Africans, on the other hand, must stay calm and keep demanding fair governance instead of taking matters into their own hands. And I feel that the court's decision is a big reminder about the rule of law. And traders speaking out is a good thing. I don't see anything wrong with that. It means people are no longer scared to demand justice. At the end of the day, everyone really wants a working system. That's one where citizens feel protected, the economy runs smoothly, and everyone who trades does so legally and peacefully. So what do you think about this? Do you think the court ruling was in favor of the city of Johannesburg or the informal traders? Well, let me know what you think in the comment section. And if today is your first time joining my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.